Kano state government plans appeal as court sacks Sanusi in emirate crisis. Police arrest 5 kidnapped suspects in Kaduna, recover stolen vehicle. 1 dead, 5 hospitalized in Ogun cholera outbreak. On the international scene, 68 migrants rescued, 5 bodies discovered in Atlantic Ocean. Hello there and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for joining. A federal high court sitting in Kano has set aside steps taken in the reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi II as the 16th Emir of Kano. The presiding judge, Justice Abdullahi Liman, held that the state government disobeyed the interim order asking parties to maintain status quo on the implementation of the Kano Emirate Council Repeal Law 2024. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the court did not invalidate the law assented to by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. Here's his report.
It was a rowdy atmosphere after the presiding judge, Justice Abdullahi Liman, ruled that all actions taken by the Kano state government after the signing of the Emirate Council law by Governor Abba Kabir are a nullity. The presiding judge directed that all appointments made after the bill was signed into law are to be set aside, adding that the initial court order directing that the status quo be maintained still stands.
The court has nullified all steps taken after the order it made, and that those steps were taken in breach of the court order, and that is all. Subsequently, the court has granted civil proceedings. Since the matter is before the Court of Appeal, no court can take any further steps until the Court of Appeal determines the case at the appeal before it on the issue of jurisdiction.
Meanwhile, counsels to the applicant as well as that of the dependent confirmed that the ruling has been in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended.
The second ruling is concerning the application made by the claimant, the plaintiff, I can say, that he wants this court to declare the law passed, legitimately passed by the State House of Assembly, that is Kano State House of Assembly, that is the second respondent, null and void. But this court clearly stated in its ruling that he doesn't have the wherewithal, the jurisdiction, and the power to declare a law that's passed legitimately by the State House of Assembly.
According to the applicant, Aminu Babbadan Agundi, who addressed journalists shortly after the ruling, the court has proved that the rule of law and indeed Nigeria's justice system are working. He called on the state government to always abide by the court order to avoid future occurrences.
This success is not only for me or for the Emir, but for the entire people of Kano. I am sure all of you are in Kano, you live in Kano. 80% of Kano people are not happy with what the governor and even the House of Assembly has done.
At the moment, the Kano Emirate Repeal Law is still standing, but all actions after the law are null and void by order of the Federal High Court. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Also, the Kaduna State Police Command says that it has arrested 5 suspects in connection with kidnapping offences in various parts of the state. According to a statement by the command's public relations officer, ASP Mansir Hassan, 2 suspects, Shaibu Bala and Safinu Musa, were arrested by police operatives in Megana Division while they were trying to collect ransom money from the relatives of their victim. The police also arrested 3 suspected kidnappers at Tafa Town in Kagarko local government area of Kaduna State. The arrest followed actionable intelligence received by the divisional police officer of Tafa about suspected movement of some kidnappers in the town, which prompted the police to move in quickly and apprehended the suspects. The police also recovered a stolen vehicle in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. And in the FCT, the police command has arrested 1 suspect, Tijani Uzeiru, in the killing of Chukwu Chukudi, a mechanic in the Kugbo area of Abuja. The command spokesperson Josephine Ade disclosed this in a statement on Thursday. The tragic incident, according to Ms. Ade, happened Thursday at about 4 p.m. She said there was an argument between 4 individuals who were led by Uzeru and Chukudi. According to her, in the course of the argument, one of them stabbed Chukudi in the neck, which later led to his death. And to stories elsewhere, in recent weeks, farmers in Katsina State have faced several attacks by bandits in areas like Kankara, Yargoje, Mabai, and Jibia axis. These attacks have caused hardship among residents, displaced families, denied farmers access to farmlands, and also claimed lives. According to Trust TV's Jamil Mabai, the Katsina State government has begun taking action after much plea from locals for increased security. Here's this report.
In the wake of the recent attacks on farming communities in Katsina State, frontline areas like Ankara, Mabai, and the Jibia axis have all witnessed one form of violence or the other, resulting displacement of families and the loss of lives. We don't know how to farm. All I have is the clothes I'm wearing. They burnt my house, my shop. Even if I went back home, I don't know how I will survive. We need help. We need security presence so we can go to farm. Farmers in these areas who have appealed for increased security are relieved, as their plea seem to have been heard. In response to this plea, the Katsina State government has refurbished over 50 operational vehicles for the Nigerian police force. This much-needed boost in logistics aim to empower security personnel to better safeguard farmers and their communities.
As a matter of fact, all the vehicles were grounded, and then 2 brand new trucks, which we've handed over to the police. They are being used as we speak.
The vehicles have been refurbished, and we are in their need of these vehicles, and we most sincerely thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Dr. Umar Ratna, for his vision that he see it deemed to fix our vehicle due to the current security challenges in the state and in the country. I promised you and assure you here, as this is your operation, that the vehicles are certainly going to be put in actual good use and will start.
For residents of these frontline communities, this news offers a glimmer of hope.
Thank you very much.
Observers believe that the presence of a well-equipped security personnel will to a large extent deter bandits' attacks and create a safer environment for agricultural activities. Jamil Mabai, Trust TV, Katsina.
And as part of efforts to boost the morale of men and officers at the front line of combating crime and criminality in the southeast, the Commander Operation Udoka, Major General Taiwo Hassan Dada, has hosted troops to a Salah launch where he also briefed and gave further operational directives that will further enhance security in the zone. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise tells us more in this report.
The military deployment against oil theft, banditry, and secessionists, among other crimes in the southeast region, is codenamed Operation Udoka. It is a joint task force comprising soldiers drawn from the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. Since they operate on the front lines, many of them could not visit their families nor celebrate the Salah due to the national duty. To address the imbalance, the commander of the operation, who also doubles as the general officer commanding 82 Division, Enugu, Major General Taiwo Hassan Dada, visited Imo State where he flagged off the launch and feast with the soldiers.
This is a period that we need to thank God for the gift of life, relative peace we have been able to restore. For the most part, of the country and above all for better Nigeria.
Other component commanders ranging from the land, air and water were equally on ground to receive the GOC. Among them were the Commander 211 Quick Response Group, Nigerian Air Force Owerri, Air Commodore Friday Basi, and the Brigade Commander 34 Artillery Brigade, Nigeria Army, Obinze, Brigadier General Usman Lawal. In their separate remarks, they expressed gratitude to the operations leadership and assured of leading the men and officers to victory against enemies of the country.
Let us enjoy this moment together, and may it be a proof of our collective strength, resilience, and commitment to the nation.
Also hail the leadership acumen of our respective component commanders and sector commanders for their sound administration to troops.
Speaking further, the Air Component Commander, Air Commodore Friday Basi, said the launch and coming together of the soldiers since inception has helped to create synergy among them.
Wanted to achieve, which we have achieved with this kind of event, is to bring them together. Jointness is not just about firing the weapon, it's about developing that conception, and that is what we aim to do. And when you have done that, meaning you've put your house in order, the rest will be the performance in the field, which we are recording great successes in the field because of these issues of coming together. And sometimes you don't know the ideas they share when they sit down, and that really tells in the field.
Thank you very much, sir. The troops are assured of continuing with the already established synergy and improve on it as they combat the criminal element wreaking havoc on the region. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
And the Bayelsa State Governor, Doye Diri, has called for peace in Rivers State following the political crisis affecting the state. Senator Diri made the call during the 129th Executive Council meeting at the Government House in Yenagoa. The governor emphasized that the progress and well-being of the state should be a top priority of all leaders. Diri, who warned that the ongoing conflict would only result in underdevelopment, also expressed Bayelsa State's willingness to collaborate with Rivers State to reduce poverty and promote development in the region. He advised parties in the Rivers State's political crisis to set aside their hatchet in the interest of peace and development of the state.
Let me again use this opportunity to call on all the key actors in Rivers State to give peace a chance. Rivers and Bayelsa are one and the same states. And whatever that happens in Rivers State, we are interested. And there must be give and take in that state so that development will not suffer, so that the people will not suffer. Let the leadership give peace a chance. And we want to see the same peace that we have in Bayelsa, let it be also in Rivers State. We want to see peace in Rivers State. We want to collaborate with Rivers State. And so I call on the actors to eschew bitterness, to sit the sword and give peace a chance.
Oh, there you have it, the governor of Bayelsa State there. Elsewhere, Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri of Adamawa State has issued a stern warning to his appointees against engaging in corrupt practices, asserting that such behavior is unacceptable in his administration. Governor Fintri delivered this message while presiding over the swearing-in ceremony of 4 chairmen and members of various commissions, boards and agencies. Gibson Suadigo brings us details.
To the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution.
The banquet hall of Government House in Yola, the capital of Adamawa State, was filled with family, friends, and associates of the newly appointed chairman and members of commissions, boards, and agencies for their official inauguration. Addressing the gathering, Governor Ahmadu Fintri reminded the new appointees that their selection was based on integrity, capacity, loyalty, in pedigree. He emphasized that the work ahead is substantial and the tasks are clear, reaffirming his administration's commitment to addressing the economic challenges facing the people.
I charge you to come up with an innovative contribution to help alleviate these sufferings. As you begin your tenure, remember that corruption has no place in our government. Transparency and accountability are non-negotiable. Any form of corruption will not be tolerated.
Responding on behalf of the newly sworn-in appointees, Musa Kaiwo expressed gratitude to the governor for entrusting them with the opportunity to contribute to the state's development. He praised the governor's purposeful leadership, which he credited with transforming Adamawa, and pledged their loyalty and commitment to the Fintri-led administration.
I also like to thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor, for carefully selecting us to be part of this team or movement to work for the people of Adamawa State.
The fresh air governor of Adamawa State has restated his commitment to actualize his campaign manifesto of delivering the dividends of democracy to the people. Gibson So Adugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Makudi residents blame parents for poor child upbringing. This and more stories after the break. Join us again.
Hello viewers, welcome to
It's still the news update on Trust TV. Now a recap of the top stories again. Kano State government plans appeal as court sacks Sanusi in emirate crisis. And police arrest 5 kidnapped suspects in Kaduna, recover stolen vehicle. And to other stories now, according to a February 14 data released by the International Labour Organization, Save the Children and UNICEF, no fewer than 1.4 billion children around the world, especially those in third world countries, lack access to basic needs of life due to the unavailability of these needs. These children, most of whom are from Africa and resident in rural communities, become vulnerable, with many being recruited by criminals. To address some of these challenges, the 2024 International Day of the African Child this year is focusing on how children can have access to quality education. Trust TV's Yusuf Akogo tells us more.
The International Day of the African Child, also known as the Day of the African Child, is celebrated on June 16 every year in honor of those who participated in the Soweto Uprising in 1976. This year's celebration with the theme Education for All African Children. The time is now resonate with Nigeria due to the continued increase in the number of out-of-school children across the country. Civil society organizations say with proper legislations concerning education, the number of out-of-school children will be drastically reduced.
We believe that there is gap in early education in Nigeria. If you look at it, apart from primary school, other educational levels are completely privatized in Nigeria. And that is even the call at the level of African Union. How do we have a framework that incorporates even younger people before they get into primary? Because it's a responsibility of government to educate its people. And therefore, education is a fundamental right. And this is why this day is very important.
For teachers, the importance of education cannot be overemphasized, as they called on parents to make the education of their wards a top priority.
A child will not just be born to come to the world and decide not to go to school. I think that the major challenges we have, it's maybe coming from the parents who don't have, and then they just decide the children should just stay at home, help them go to farm, help them in their businesses and all that.
Children, however, say the day is a reminder that education for all African children is a necessity.
We need to be educated, and honestly, I don't really like the fact that other children are not in school.
This program is actually a good example, showing us that education is not only for the modern ones, but showing us that education is for everyone in total.
Government at all levels were admonished to ensure that basic education, that is a right of every child, gets proper funding as provided by law.
Let me use this opportunity to call on all stakeholders to consider education as a necessity, a collective input to continue building an Africa we will be proud of.
In Section 2, the aspirations and prescriptions of Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution is so that the primary basic education is compulsory and free, and therefore at the national level, they have all these unity schools and other. But you know, education is in concurrence list, and state and local government have primary jurisdiction. But for intervention's sake, the federal government has also created the UBEC, UBEM, and all these SUBEB and what have you. But you see, this is a laudable decision and policy of government. But how is it being implemented effectively?
The occasion also provided opportunity for children to have fun with various cultural displays. Yusuf Akugu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
And residents of Makurdi, the Benue state capital, have attributed the decline in morals among children and young adults to lack of proper upbringing. The residents, who are worried that the negative aspects of technology are taking a toll on the young ones, are urging parents to bring up their children in line with African values. Trust TV's Jimmy Atande brings us more.
The residents are worried that tradition, which played a major role in the upbringing of kids, is gradually waning due to the upsurge of modernization.
The advent of technology has brought more harm than good. Go to some African homes, you see a child of 4 years having a phone, and it will be the parents who got the phone. What does a typical African child of 4 years need a phone for?
They said at the moment, most African societies are struggling with the declining values, a situation that calls for serious concern.
A child speaking the English language and not speaking the Tiv language is seen as an intelligent child, so to say, or is seen as a good kid amongst kids that can actually speak the mother tongue. So in that regard, we begin to see that globalization has been able to impact on that aspect of language.
Before now, Africans were solely practicing the culture of the natives, where an African man will rise up and do on his own practices, such as language, dressing, eating, and whatever.
They suggested some form of cultural reorientation as a way forward.
But if our parents can go back to grassroots and teach us all about our culture, then of course we will be able to pass it on to the next generation.
Accept globalization with its good effect and then avoid the negative sides of globalization, such as which would impact on the culture and then cause a decline in the culture of our people.
Schools should encourage curriculums that teaches culture in their classes, so that the children can also copy and in fact inherit back the way of African culture.
The way of life hitherto unknown to Africans is suddenly taking the center stage. And this is worrisome, because the multiplicity of cultures is what makes countries like Nigeria unique in conception. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And on the international scene, the World Health Organization has announced a spike in cholera in several regions of the world, with almost 195 cases and over 1,900 deaths reported in 24 countries since the start of this year. The agency's Eastern Mediterranean region reported the highest number of cases, followed by the African region, the region of the Americas, the Southeast Asia region, and the European region. WHO, in a statement on Thursday, stated that there are no reported cases in the Western region, according to its bulletin released on Wednesday. The UN Health Agency said it exhausted its global stockpile of oral cholera vaccines by March, but was able to exceed the emergency target of 5 million doses in early June for the first time in 2024. And a cruise ship has rescued 68 migrants and found 5 bodies in a traditional fishing boat that was drifting off the Canary Islands in the Atlantic Ocean. Spain's Maritime Rescue Agency said Friday that oil tanker traveling from northwestern Spain to Brazil spotted the drifting boat on Wednesday afternoon, about 815 kilometers south of Tenerife, one of the 7 islands in the Canaries archipelago. Spanish authorities diverted the Insignia, a cruise ship, to rescue the migrants. The Insignia crew also recovered 3 of the 5 bodies on the fishing boat. The remains of 2 people were left at sea because of bad weather hampering their recovery. And in sports, following his strong display last season, Nigerian defender Oluwasegun Olalere has had his contract extended in Denmark. The former Remo Stars defender joined Aarhus Fremad last year, and he has become a regular in the first team of the Danish second division side. Olalere was part of a great season for Aarhus Fremad, who were long in the running for promotion to the Elite League. With the new deal, Olalere is expected to continue with the team when the preseason resumes. An Italian football legend, Roberto Baggio, has been hospitalized after being attacked by armed robbers who stormed his home. The intruders locked his family up while they watched last night's Euro 2024 match between Italy and Spain. According to reports, the 57-year-old was at his home in Altavilla Vincentine, a small town in northern Italy, about an hour's drive from Venice, when a gang of 5 broke in around 10 p.m. local time on Thursday night. Italy lost the game to Spain by a lone goal. And that wraps up the news update at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.